Hello friends, I am Dilip Singh. Welcome to the second CSS lecture of the tutorial series for web programming. Today we will learn how to include or insert the CSS styles in our web page. So there are three way or methods by which we can insert or include the CSS style sheet in our web page. The first one is inline. So so three methods are inline method, internal method, and the external method. Right? They are basically called inline style, internal style, external style. Okay. So inline method basically used by using style attribute, right? So you may have remembered, if you have seen my HTML videos, we were seeing that there is some common attributes of HTML tags, and one of those common attribute is a style attribute, right? So using this style attribute we can apply the CSS style to any HTML elements, and that method is called inline style. For example, here suppose I want that heading should become blue, right? So this is a H2 heading, and here it is closed, and this is the content of the H2 heading 2, and I want this should be blue. So what I'll do, within the opening tag, because we know that attribute of HTML tags are basically we put within the opening tag. So within the opening tag here, what I have used, style attribute of H2 tag. So style attribute I have used here, and set the value color should be blue. So the color property used for text color, and the value of text color here we are giving blue, right? So this is how here how we are basically putting the CSS into our element H2 by using inline method. Within the element, by using a style attribute, we have applied the CSS style rules, right? And this CSS style will only be applied to this single element. So you can see here, inline method can apply CSS into single HTML elements, right? So this is how we can apply the CSS rules or CSS style into the single HTML element only. So if you want to apply the CSS rule into the single HTML element, then we can use the inline method. But there are another method of applying the CSS style, that is called internal, okay, which we already have used in our previous lecture, the lecture 1 of CSS. So internal method uses a style tag. So remember that this is a style attribute which is used within the another tags of HTML, and here it is the style tag, right? So style tag used within the head portion of HTML page. So using a style tag, how we can apply the CSS rules. So here the example we can see, we can use within the head section, we can open the style tag, then we can close the style tag, and within this opening and closing style tag we can write one or more CSS style rules, right? And one more thing, that internal method can be used to apply CSS into whole web page, right? So here inline can be used to apply the CSS style for single element, internal can be used for the whole web page, and the third and last method is external method, right, where we generally used to create a separate CSS file and then linked that CSS file to our HTML web page by link tag, right, by link tag. And we can use the external method to apply CSS into whole website, and we know that website is collection of multiple web pages, so we can use that external method to apply CSS into the multiple web pages without writing the CSS code again, right? So what is the method? How we can link the separate CSS file into our web page? Within the head section we will use the link tag. So here link tag, and in the link tag we use some attributes of a link tag. So one is relation, so that relation here I will put the value style sheet, right? It shows that the external file that we are linking here with our HTML web page is a style sheet. What is the relation with that external file? That is a style sheet here, right? Then the another attribute is type, which basically tell the file that we are linking is of what type. So it's the content of that file is text, and which is nothing but a CSS. It contains the text of CSS style rules. And that one of the very important attribute of link tag is href, right? And when we were learning about HTML, then we have already seen href in anchor tag. What is it used for? It used to provide the URL of the file to which this HTML page is going to be linked, right? So that external file on which we have written all our CSS code is saved in suppose mystyle.css, and that file we want to link to our HTML web page. So we will put here in href attribute, we will put the path of that CSS file, right, where it is stored in our system, right? If it is stored in the same folder where our HTML page is stored, then we can simply put the name of that CSS file. And yes, here we can see the CSS file will make, then we must have to save that CSS file with the extension .css. Okay, so this is how we can include the CSS style rules in our web page. The three methods: inline, internal, and the external. And inline method basically uses style attribute, right? And at a time that inline method can apply CSS into the single elements only, right? Whereas internal method uses style tag and it can apply CSS into whole page, right? And the external method uses separate CSS file, and using link tag it link that CSS file to our web page. That's why that external method, by using external method we can apply CSS rule to our whole website or multiple web pages without rewriting that CSS code again, right? Okay, so let's see the examples. So here again we are having here the basic code structure of HTML, and the title I have already set here, which is inserting the CSS style. And then suppose in our web page there is a two element, one is pen, which is a heading here, which is including CSS or inserting CSS, we can put whatever heading you want, and we are having in our web page one paragraph, but learning how to insert the CSS style in our web page. So this is a paragraph here, correct. Now let us use all the three method one by one. So let's first use the inline method. So inline method will be applied in the elements itself by using the style attribute. So if I want that the color of this heading should become red, then how I can do using inline method of applying the CSS? In opening h1 tag, I will use the style attribute and I will put the value here, the CSS rule, right? So within the style attribute I will put the property that we want to change of heading one element. What property we want to change? We want to change its text color property to be red. So I will give here color and then colon, and the value should be red, correct, and semicolon. So I will save it. Let us save it into the folder. My CSS web. Okay, and here I'll give the name of my web page, suppose inserting css.html. okay, save. Now if I'll go to that folder inserting css.html, I'll double click it and we'll see, look at here. Here I'm having inserting the CSS style title, then this including CSS is a heading 1, and then this paragraph. Now you can see here the heading of h1 become red by applying the inline method of CSS, by using the inline method of applying the CSS into our web page. Suppose in place of red I want it to be maybe green. So if I'll save it and I'll go there and I'll refresh it, you can see it become green, right? Okay, now let's see the another method. The another method is internal method of applying the CSS, and we know the that internal method of applying the CSS uses the style tag, and we have to use a style tag within the head section of the web page. So within the head section below the title I will open the style tag and then I will close the style tag, right? And here suppose I want to set the color of this paragraph to be red. So what I will do, I have to select the paragraph by selector P, then color to be red, semicolon, right? So this method is basically called internal method of applying the CSS style to our web page, right? This is called inline method. This method is called the internal method. So let's see whether it is working or not. I'll save it, and right now you can see it's in it's a black, and I'll refresh it, it will become red, right? So you can see here this become red by using internal method of applying the CSS, this become blue green by using the inline method of applying the CSS, right? Okay, now let us apply the CSS style by using third method, which is the external style sheet. So the third method is basically we have to write the CSS code in separate file. So I'll go separate file here, and here I will write the CSS code, our CSS code. So suppose what I want the background color should be maybe yellow, right? So okay, let's see how I'll do. Here I do not basically here I have to use directly our CSS code. So sorry, how I will write? Simply using the selector and its property and the value. So what I want, the background color of this whole page should become yellow. So this whole page basically comes under the body section. So body is a tag. So I will set the attribute of a body background color to be yellow. So here I will go, I will select the body tag, right, which this means that the CSS rule are going to be applied to the whole body, right? And then the curly bracket, and within that for the background color, the property that is available in a CSS is background and then color, and then colon, suppose we want yellow, so yellow, okay, then semicolon. And now this external file I will save. Where I will save? Suppose in this my CSS web, what I will recommend, that always use a folder in order to put all your external style sheet, right? So I have created style folder, and within that style folder I will use suppose my style dot extension, I will use CSS because it is a CSS file, and then I will save it. Okay, no problem, I will use double quote here to make it CSS file. Okay, I'll save it. All right, now you can go there in the folder, in style you can check, see my style dot it should be CSS, not SCM. Okay, it's a typo mistake, so I will delete it, and I don't know whether it will take. Okay, and then I will save it again. So I will save it again, my style dot CSS, let me save as, okay, my style dot, it should be CSS, okay, it should be my style dot CSS. Okay, save. Now it is okay, this is a CSS file. So you can go in the folder and you can check, and this is a wrong file. Okay, no, sorry, I will delete it. So this is a my style dot CSS file. Okay, now I will go to, now I have to link this file into my web page. So how I can link? Using the link tag, and we have to use the link tag within the head tag. So within the head tag I will use link tag. Okay, so you can see here within the head tag we have to use the link tag, right? And in the link tag there are 3 attributes that we have to use. Okay, so within the link tag I'll go within the opening tag, and the first attribute I always use basically href itself. So I will put here the reference of or the path of that CSS file that we have created, and we know the path is within the current folder where this web page is. We have to go to the style folder or subdirectory, then within that my style.css. so here I should put the path style subdirectory, then sorry, then the name of the CSS file, that is my style.css. okay, then after one space I will give another attribute of link tag, that is type, and the type is, it is text oblique CSS file, right? Then one space and I will give the relation. So what is the relation of that CSS file with this with this HTML web page? Basically that file is a style sheet. Okay, you can see here it's a style sheet. Okay, now I will save it and and I'll go to the web browser, and if I'll refresh it, the external style sheet my style.css, if it is attached properly with this page, then the background color will become yellow. So let us refresh it, and you can see here the background color become yellow, right? Okay, so this is how basically all the three method works.